What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with the Thursday edition of MLB and NFL. Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I always hate this in MLB. I always hate it because, well, a lot of my spreads, a lot of my totals, a lot of anything in any sport, NBA, NFL, MLB, I'm trying to bet early. I'm trying to get it as early as I can to try to beat a lot of the line movement. Long term, that's always treated me well. We got some really nice CLV, and guess what? It didn't matter. Cincinnati goes to minus 125, minus 130 in some spots there at close after we got it well inside of that number, and they end up losing in extras in just devastating fashion. They ended up, well, it was a close contested baseball game like we kind of looked at it being 4-3. A lot of people played the under of 7 or the over of 7. A lot of weird different things and iterations where there were some pushes there. But yeah, I was on Cincy money line against Paul Skeens. He checks out of the game, and it just became Cincy again for a second. Tyler Stevenson, incredible game, tried to win it for us. But then the hook that we lost on the under 7.5 for Toronto is just so unbelievably tilting. For those who don't know, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is like at the bottom of my home run model and has been since he's been in the league like forever. The guy has 0 power, 9-hole for Toronto, good defender, phenomenal defender. Also hits for average, so he sets up guys in the 1-2. So like there's that, but no power whatsoever. Of course he hits a solo shot. The only run for Toronto in the entire ball game. Garrett Crochet was magnificent, like I expected him to be. The strikeouts weren't there, kind of like I expected it to be to some extent, but 8 strong innings from him get wasted there. And Jose Berrios just had to be the reliever to give up a 3 home run shot a little bit earlier there in that 8th inning too. So got a little bit trolled there in that spot, but I hate that because everything else felt pretty darn good outside of, well, home runs. Could have used a home run. That would have been nice, but every prop across the board could not have been more on with some of them. Shane Paz over 1.5 walks, felt good about the snipe. Hunter Green over 17.5 outs there for him. That was very, very useful. In addition to another late night underdog pick'em card hitting for the people. Some of the pick'em has just been insane. So I want to keep that run going. And yeah, just again, I hate stuff like that, but you don't care about what happened yesterday. You care about Thursday, because not only will we have MLB exposure in the premium Discord, and we already do, but we're going to have ourselves some NFL. We've got an exciting football game, Seattle, Arizona, a lot of new faces, new situations. And by that, I just mean James Conner got obliterated, and whoever had Benson on their bench is going to be very, very happy. Kind of have a fishy prop that I like in that one, but 2 outrights here. We're going to try to make back some of that hay that we ended up losing in just devastating fashion. Extras and that hook. That hook was just so unbelievable in the under, but hey, you live, you learn. It's not even live and learn. I would have done that every single time. It's just simply, let's run better tomorrow. How about that? That would be great. I'll have all of my props, all of my pick'em, everything there in the Lindy Discord. Would love to have you there. 50% off the weekly, which is $10. The monthly, which is $25 when you use checkout for the first time. Yeah, it is awesome times in the premium Discord. Not just myself, but like, I want to give some special shout outs. Shay in the college football streets. I've really enjoyed some of his stuff that he's thrown into the Discord. I know he set up a Tails package as well. Go check him out on the Expert Picks feed, which is completely free over at Tails. Go to tails.bet, check it out. You can go to the link below. That would be awesome sauce. There's also some other things going on. Like, I don't know. We got our guy J Metal K. Just unbelievable stuff from him in the Pick'em streets day in, day out. Usually posting 3-4 cards for the people, just completely free in my Discord. We got to set that guy up with something as well. I mean, just awesome stuff overall from a market-based perspective. Somebody who I think has been pretty sharp at jumping on some of the early lines. And I kind of go about it kind of a combo of both, if we're being dead honest. Obviously, you're always looking for the best line. If you don't bet the best line that you have available to you, that's just silliness, or played at the best pick'em site for you. That's just silliness. But yeah, we want to be using math. We want to be using everything at our disposal. And he does a great job of it. From a market-based perspective, really, really sharp, and obviously combine my my projections, my other things, and a lot going on behind the scenes. A lot of sports too. Oh, NBA! I pulled out my NBA sheet. Holy shit! It's a month away. It's a month away. For those who don't know and haven't tailed me for the last 5 years in NBA, very fruitful. NBA is fantastic, and NFL been pretty decent here to start off. Although, let's see. Yeah, no, Sunday was an absolute beauty. It was nice. Whatever. You don't care about that. You care about Thursday. So without further ado, I'm going to be pretty quick here because it is very late, after 12:30 Eastern time, after 9:30 p.m., but I don't sleep. I don't stop until I'm done, until I get that work in. Don't stop. Addicted to the shindig. Let's get to the picks. Wow, 5-minute intro. That's the longest intro I've had in a while. Let's just talk Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and thanks, Cincinnati, for absolutely nothing. You absolutely had to have that baseball game. Now you're sub 20% in terms of your playoff expected win percentage on ESPN and Fangraphs. Those are the two that I'm going to cite throughout. Those are the two. If you don't go to Fangraphs and utilize it, I don't know what to tell you. It's just silly that you wouldn't. But as we look at their playoff expected numbers there, they're still going to be going all out. Why not? I mean, baseball's a 162 game series, and now it's going to come down to like 4 or 5 games of massive variance. Although there's teams like Seattle who just clinched, they still have a chance for the 1 seed. I mean, Toronto and New York sitting one back there, but in the NL, it's a little bit more concrete purely because the Dodgers are so far back of Philly. The Phillies basically running away here, and then Philly is 3 games back of Milwaukee. So, I mean, the Dodgers are basically kind of just jockeying back and forth with the San Diego Padres, which, boy, fireworks over the weekend. That's going to be fun. But Cincinnati, despite a very small chance of getting there, we expect them to play this straight up. And overall, Ashcraft versus Lodolo would be more interesting if I knew how long Braxton Ashcraft was actually going to pitch. I mean, the Skeens was so efficient and just, it made I have no qualms whatsoever there, but there's also rain in the forecast tomorrow morning. We've really avoided a lot of weather the last 2-3 weeks. Basically, the whole month of September has been dry across America. All of these ballparks. I'm not sure. Maybe you work at a rainforest cafe and you've heard rain or something of that nature. Shut up the real ones working in the restaurant industry. You're absolute goats. But Pittsburgh taking on Cincy in this spot, under 8. Probably won't end up playing it because Pittsburgh bullpen. They didn't really have to utilize that many guys there in that spot today. And Cincinnati, they're going to do everything they can to win the game. That's usually good because you have to win today. You have to utilize every bullpen arm you can to the best of your ability if the game is remotely in question. That's always going to look good for an under. Rays taking on the Orioles here in this spot. A game of just nobody cares anymore. Cade Povich is not very good, but he'll probably eat up most of it. Rasmussen, I would be shocked if he pitched very deep into that. We saw Shane Baz get ripped off the field when he got to the 5th inning there. Fortunately, the biggest play that I had out of the entire grouping, I had a couple of pick 'em where I was like, hey, 5.5 strikeouts makes some sense. They weren't available with walks over on DK, or DK pick 6 in the morning. And, well, we ended up getting that way late play on over 1.5 walks. And by late, I don't mean late closer to first pitch. I mean, it was almost 3 a.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, or 12 a.m. Pacific, where I was still just combing through props. It's just who I am. I can't turn it off. Caminero, especially because the MLB, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss it big time. Caminero, a home run, though. We're seeing guys hit 60. Cal Raleigh, so fun today, that's for sure. But Caminero, sitting in that 4-0, whatever. It's going to be probably too short of a number against Povich, but one can dream. Better than plus 245. Can we get that? That would be useful. Speaking of useful, if you tailed Buxton, I ended up keeping him off in the end. So, of course, first at bat, gone. I felt auspiciously good. Plus 333 over at BetMGM is where that was opening at. And I should have just bet it. I just kind of fell in love with some other spots. Kansas City, absolute nothing, except for Grichuk, who got 2 at bats. I thought he was actually an actively bad home run bet, but a lot of people that I know ended up getting there. There's one site in particular that liked them, I can tell you that much. I hated it. Whatever. Sanchez over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBS. Oh, Twins. They've got Ober and Molly. Yeah, we're going to look at the Texas side of that one for tomorrow because Bailey Ober must pay for his sins. Speaking of paying for their sins, Houston didn't win the division, but that's not the only thing, friends. They have a 41% chance of making the playoffs. Again, there's a lot that goes into it that I'm not going to try to monitor entirely here. You could say, oh, I have it for higher, I have for less, but overall, it's just remaining games left, opposing schedule, who you're going to be starting, and power rankings, if you will. Power rankings. But yeah, there's a lot more math that goes into it. 99.9% were the Detroit Tigers to win that division. That is not looking like 99.9%. We'll get there. But Sanchez over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. I didn't end up pulling the trigger on it yesterday, but it's still the most appealing thing that I'm looking at here on the board. JT Ginn on the other side is going to be pitching. I want to see who ends up out there for Houston. Houston's going to throw everything they can against the wall. It might be full-on bullpen. Might be the first day in a long time that the Soder goat, Tyler Soderstrom, you best believe I played him today inside of minus 105, minus 110. What are we doing? I actually posted a plus 105. I got picked up for a little bit. But anyway, the whole point is Tyler Soderstrom is the GOAT. This guy is cashed so many over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs ticket. But Sanchez, knowing who the starting pitcher is on that side, that's the more appealing one for the moment. Dodgers and Diamondbacks. I mean, the Dodgers precipitously fell too, which if it weren't for Detroit, we would be talking more about them in the MLB world. But more you break down the Los Angeles Dodgers, the more it's just like, man, just wasn't your year necessarily, even though you had a plus 125 run differential next to the San Diego Padres with just plus 66. But that's a lower variance ballpark, whereas the Dodgers, they bludgeon teams at Dodger Stadium, a spot that plays up for lefty power. And I don't know if you noticed, Shohei Ohtani is a left-handed bat with power. Max Muncy, a left-handed bat with power. Freddie Freeman, a left-handed bat with power. Michael Conforto, he's just left-handed. But overall, that's what I'm getting at, is that you're going to have those run differentials that make it a little bit louder than it should be. And yet, it just has to be known that the Dodgers have given up 673 runs next to the Padres 612 because their bullpen has been on the struggle bus. It feels like nonstop. And now they're in the 10th inning. Bases loaded 4-4 here. I'm watching this live as we are continuing on our merry way. Oh, this is San Francisco. That's supposed to say Dodgers, LAD, -1. I was kind of breaking down both of those games at the same time as I was watching the game, or watching both of the evening games. But yeah, this will be afternoon Arizona. That's fun. All right, now we kind of move into this random 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. slot where one game exists and then everything else for the evening window. Yeah, that says under 1.5 total bases. You best believe that, I mean, even a Miami Marlin, Jansen Junk, is he really going to try to challenge Kyle Schwarber? I don't know. But I want to point this out too. His walk is an actively bad bet tomorrow. Jansen Junk, the only thing he does is throw the ball in the strike zone. In fact, he probably does it too much, way too much. 3% walk rate. That's basically saying, I have no good stuff. I'm going to try to paint corners and then, well, I don't know, I'll give up a 48.2% hard hit, 92 average exit velocity. And Walker Buehler on the other side, I'm actually looking at his under 3.5 strikeouts. That came up in my first run, but I'm going to go back through the props here after this program because going through the pick'em stuff too, night before, has been going really, really well and helped with my prop process for everything at all the sports books everywhere else. And I want to cater to everybody, no matter where you live, no matter what you do. We have exposure. We have an opportunity for you to make money in the Lindy Discord. That's for sure. Cleveland money line. Just Lee Trevino and Happy Gilmore. Good Lord. You're seriously a game down in the division now. It's the first time since April 22nd that Cleveland has been in tied for first here. Detroit, they've been in the division lead since April 22nd, every single day. It is now September 24th. We've played a bajillion baseball games. Now they're looking up at the Cleveland Guardians, 1 game back. Playing them tomorrow. I mean, this is just can't miss kind of TV for me. We don't even know who Detroit's going to roll out. They let go of Charlie Morton, so that would have been his turn here in this spot. They've got guys like Paddock in the pen. They could go full-on bullpen spot here. They utilize some guys here, but you got to just try to set this up in a way where Skubal has a chance to potentially pitch and then potentially be a reliever later, like a Saturday. And then, if you needed him for an inning, pull a Randy Johnson. This is the end of the year. You're not going to hurt the guy. He's going to be fine pitching 1 inning and then going to Cabo. He'll be fine. Don't be stupid, but it's fine. Anyway, I'm just thinking ahead. I think everybody kind of is. Everything is about now, though. Parker Misick, boy, oh boy, has he been really good in terms of hard contact here for the Southpaw. And Detroit, you neutralize Green, you neutralize, for sure, Kerry Carpenter. Probably not even going to be in the lineup against a lefty. Jahmai Jones. So I'm excited to watch that baseball game. Bet it, a little bit of a different concern. I did like some of the lefties today. They sucked. Vlad home run. I feel like Vlad has not been on the home run card for me all season long. I haven't really known what to do with him. Part of it is that he has, I would say, for somebody who smashes baseballs as hard as he does and has a 403 xwOBA, I think Springer Dinger has just kind of surpassed him. You get just about the same odds, usually like 50 cents, 60 cents difference, which when you're talking plus 375 and plus 450 is like your average odds for a year. It's a gap for sure, but like Springer has the 17 degree launch angle, whereas Vlad's sitting at 8. There's a reason. I mean, Vlad, it's just wild. He only has 23 home runs on the season. I think that's an auspiciously low number. I mean, you compare that, Springer who missed time at 30, and it's just wild to me. But Vlad gets ejected. And then on the other side, we're going to get an absolute target in Brian Bayo. I know he's pitched better over the course of the last 2 months. It couldn't have gotten much worse from his beginning of the season, but no strikeout stuff. 9 degree, a little bit higher in terms of his launch. There's just kind of something going on with Vlad where some of these lower launch guys, he's actively trying to get in the air or something. Like, I'll go back through it again tomorrow, but got his break-even number lower than I was expecting because Springer ends up being the guy for me most of the time. But I feel like I haven't typed in Vlad in forever, and also first time I've seen him pop for me, period. Like, months. I haven't bet Vlad. Chicago Cubs taking on the Metsies, and win was in and Wrigley didn't matter. They found ways to put up home runs. Michael Busch, one of the best changeup hitters in baseball, but Nolan McLean on one side, Shota Imanaga. This Mets pen is absolutely in shambles. A terrible David Peterson outing. Then they had that youngling, the 22-year-old, just get completely bludgeoned. I ended up on a fish play there, just talking through it, where it's like, hey, he's going to have to pitch deep into this game. And he had like a 40% K rate across multiple, minor league ball situations. His changeup is very, very good, but you have to kind of like set it up. Did not set it up. Couldn't elevate his fastball. That was kind of what the Mets manager talked about. But yeah, Cubs money line. I'm not betting Shota Imanaga. Sorry, data. We're going to pass. And Colorado taking on Seattle. Seattle -1. I can't bet it, though. And the main reason I'm not going to be going -1 or -1.5 here, they just clinched the division. I'd be surprised if we got like a full blast lineup. Now, we saw Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper day after they clinched the NL East. They decided to go out and party on a Monday, though. Kind of a bad day to land on. Wednesday, Seattle, probably not a lot going on, but even their scrubby-dub-dubs can beat up on Colorado with Bradley Blaylock getting rolled out, but no starting pitcher announced on the Seattle side here as of now. I think, who did I have written down? Hancock. Emerson Hancock. Won 4 consecutive games in which he's appeared, but more of a bullpen arm, probably more of a bullpen situation. Set it up for the weekend. Or you just say, hey, we can probably beat Colorado with our absolute B team. But then why would I bet the -1? Why would I do that? To just have a terrible lineup and have that happen? Yeah. But Seattle should actively try to win baseball games for what it's worth. They're one back of the 1 seed. Go for it, baby. You're playing Colorado. Anyway, a lot to think about over the course of these next couple of days. But the fact remains, this is our second to last MLB Lindy's during the regular season, which is just terrifying to think about. Terrifying. But it'll be okay, baby. You can jump in the premium Discord, and NFL is going to be rocking, and NBA is going to be here before you know it, and I'm going to be betting the MLB playoffs the entire way, and I think I'm going to be able to do MLB shows. Remember when I had to shut it down early last year? This year I said, I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. Use code Lindy NFL. Would love to see you there. To the plays we go. Yeah, we're not even going to pitter-patter here. We've got ourselves the White Sox. Oh, had to throw this in. Be like Lindy, join Tails today. You guys want to sign up for Tails? Check out the Expert Picks page for free. Check out all the goodness we have going. And if you think this is something for you, if you're an MMA specialist, if you're a PGA specialist, hell, let's say that you dominate in the major sports and you unit tracking like I do all the time over on X, in front of the people, in front of the paywall. Wow. Well, I would love to see you in Tails as well. Be like Lindy, join Tails today. Let's get to the picks. Alrighty, the White Sox taking on the Yankees. Yankees win. Never in doubt today. Judge goes double dong. Grisham hits another dong. He's up to 34 homers now in the year? Wild stuff from Trent Grisham, who really was not a power bat at any point in time in his San Diego tenure or wherever else. Just wild to watch, but really good center fielder too. White Sox taking on Yankees here in this one, but this is a pitching mismatch. We got Carlos Rodon on one side of the rubber, and boy, 286 xWOBA looks really nice 211 expected batting average looks really nice. Keeps the barrels down, keeps the hard contact down, goes four-seamer sinker, then mixes in slider, change, curve, and curve not a ton for what it's worth. But overall, 3 of those pitches are B or better grades for me, which is being very, very, I'm pretty harsh with some of the grading as well. And Carlos Rodon, I just like a lot of what he does. As for Davis Martin on the other side, I like just about nothing that he does. 44.4% hard hit, 361 xWOBA, but 285 expected batting average, 10% barrel percentage, and you got one of the worst bullpens behind him. So what are we even doing here? Yankees run line. I know it's sitting like right in that minus 135, minus 140 section, maybe minus 145, 50 when you hear this. I don't really care. I've got this close, like 2.3. And there's a lot of run differentials and a lot of ways you can go about grading stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is that I would not be betting a run line unless I was very, very confident in it because, well, I've been far more particular with them here in recent weeks and months, purely because of my guy Sportside Jacob, also at Tails. Go follow him, Sportside Jacob over on X. The -1 sharp. That is Jacob. Also, I need to repent. One time I bet Seattle -1.5 and it didn't go well in Seattle. Don't ever do that. Would have gone very well today. Kansas City taking on the Angels, and this is kind of a weird one because 2 teams with absolutely nothing to play for, but Kansas City rolled out their A team today. They played it straight up because people's jobs are always on the line and history's on the line for players that, you know, the likes of Bobby Witt, Sal Perez, who's just continuing to accumulate home runs at the catcher position, which is going to look really good if you're trying to get into the Hall of Fame, which is very much live for him. Baseball writers are ridiculous, though. You never know. But -110, both sides of things. Michael Lorenzen coming back here to Angel Stadium, one of the 48 teams it feels like he's been with, even though Cincinnati, Angels, Kansas City, really the main 3 that come to my mind. Can't really think of another off the top of my head. As for Mitch Ferris on the other side, he's been giving up high launch, 467 expected slugging, 10.5% walk rate, southpaw. That's the one nice thing we can say about him because Kansas City has not been too good against that side of the plate, but play Randall Grichuk a little more. Play a lot of these guys, and don't forget Angel Stadium. It's useful. I like the over 9 here in this one. I think 2 teams with very little to play for still roll out their main guys, still look pretty good in a very hitter-friendly ballpark against, I would call, subpar pitchers at this point in time. For sure, Michael Lorenzen, this Ferris character. Let's take a day off. I heard Ferrises like to do that from time to time. Let's go to NFL, shall we? Hey, NFL primetime. No pivots, no whatever. We got to keep this under 25. Let's be serious. We have things to do, places to see, and I got props to update across the board one more time before I go to bed. I am a psycho. Seattle, 1.5-point favorites on the road in Arizona. And the more you break this game down, the more it just becomes a lot of injuries and question marks about who's going to be coming in for who and what's going to be happening. But, like, you got Arizona just beat up. Sean Murphy bunting. He's knee on the IR. Garrett Williams, knee IR. We've got Starling Thomas, ACL IR. We've got so many of these dudes across the board on the Arizona side. I don't know what to make of it. But we do know what to make of the Seahawks. The Seahawks offense, that is flowing through Jackson Smith and Jigba. We have Zach Charbonnet, who did practice in full here, and now it's just looking like the biggest headache ever with Kenneth Walker and him. In fantasy, if you've got either of them, just bless your heart. It's going to be a very tough stead. Tough to identify when one guy's going to pop. And this isn't like a David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, where they can both eat on any given game. And we saw them eat against Baltimore. Wild to see Baltimore's not stopping the run. What are we doing? But Seattle, offensively, with Sam Darnold, it's just kind of been what you were going to expect as, you know, a Viking fan watching Sam Darnold. Let's find Jackson Smith and Jigba. Let's pepper him until the cows come home. Torrey Horton's been showing out somewhat, but like this is really Jackson Smith and Jigba. 29 targets now for him through 3 weeks, averaging nearly 10 targets a game here, and I'm seeing some pretty high reception numbers on him. I almost don't care with all of those cornerback injuries that I listed off. Again, Sean Murphy bunting, Garrett Williams, Starling Thomas. That's a disaster for them. Already a defense that we're not going to expect to be very good as it goes. But now let's flip it to the other side. I do think Arizona in the absence of James Conner, are going to have to let Kyler Murray figure out his life. This guy has been extremely frustrating, especially if you've drafted him in any fantasy drafts over the course of the last few years. Oh, he's going to have his legs. Oh, that didn't work out. He's got Trey McBride. I'll pair him. No, that doesn't really work out either. At some point, we're going to see him find his rhythm. It's got to be now with no James Conner, because you can't just hand off the football here with this foot injury for him there to guys like Amari Mercado and Bam Knight and, of course, Trey Benson. It's going to get very difficult. And I do think teams, especially one with as good of a defense as Seattle has, are going to find ways to stop that run. That being said, Trey Benson is still very appealing to me. There's so many good things about what he does on a field, and we were starting to see him in this second year start to show out. He's a 4.4 guy. He is a big dude out of Florida State. He is really solid. If you saw him play in college, he popped. There's certain college players that just pop off a page, and we all know who they are. Sadly, I do think one of them last year for me was a Marion Hampton, but that's neither here nor there. I was able to at least make some money on Najee Harris on that switch up, that's for sure. But I like his role in the passing game in this one. I think they're going to have to find unique ways of opening up this offense if they're not able to establish the run, which I think is very much in doubt against a Seattle team that is very functionally set up to stop that and has no such crazy injuries on the one side. So pay attention to a lot of things. Greg Dortch, I'm actually pretty interested in as well, for what it's worth. I think he's just a dude, little tiny burner out of, I think it was Purdue back in the day. But the whole point is that with Zay Jones out for this one, Elijah Higgins, Michael Wilson, whomever else, there's some appeal to them. But the guy who I think could walk into a much larger role is Greg Dortch. I might ladder him. I'm gonna make that up. I'm not even making it up. I'm going to let you know. I think Greg Dortch, I'm going to fire some alts. But Trey Benson, this is your straightforward one. If you're playing him in fantasy, rip, because that team does not deserve to have nice things happen to them like that. Although one of the better stashes, I ended up stashing Brian Robinson Jr. So hopefully Christian McCaffrey. I don't want anything bad to happen to Christian McCaffrey. I just would like him to retire from football. Trey Benson over 19.5 receiving yards. Let's get ourselves the heck up out of here. One more time for the people in the back. Be like Lindy Join Tales today, as well as the Lindy and Friends Discord. I'm grinding props all the live long day. I'm throwing a lot of those spreads and totals and such on this program here early on. It's been a really good balance and a really good mix. It's worked nicely for me the last few months in the MLB streets. It's worked pretty darn nicely for me the first 3 weeks of the NFL. Nothing crazy. Haven't had the crazy profits, but I think there's some massive upside for tomorrow, and I can't wait to bring you what I got to share with you. So let's get the heck up out of here. Be like Lindy Join Tales today, and check out the Lindy Discord where I can do it for you in person. That sounded sexual. And that does it for another edition of MLB and NFL Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Actually, one of the last versions of it. Obviously, Thursday, we'll see kind of next Monday, next Thursday, what goes on in the playoffs. Sunday, there's going to be Monday off, I think, from baseball. So yeah, Thursday for sure. We'll be covering some of that, but otherwise it'll just be a standalone NFL video, which is kind of wild to think about. Well, we'll have another one of those coming up on Friday for week 4 for you. Get you some look at some of the props that started to drop today. Haven't mixed them in as much here yet. Some books being a little slow to the trigger because, well, they should be. They should be. They should be scared. Let's go get that money, honey. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Why did I say that? Best of luck in the MLB and NFL streets on Thursday. Get that money, honey. Shut up there. Bye.